What is up, guys? Welcome back to, or not welcome back. Welcome to the Omega Battle Association uh, team analysis video. The draft actually was today. I'm gonna tell you guys about that and what I drafted. I'm your coach of the Grassy Plains Raikous. If this video does start, please drop a like below. And if you're new, subscribe. I cannot talk today again, guys. If you guys do not know what the OEA is, it's basically Pokemon League. If you guys do not know how Pokemon League is, but um, I'm your coach of the Grassy Plains Raikous. The draft actually was today. There's well, it's actually 7 other coaches, not including me, but there's a total of 8 coaches. I don't know if I'm going to be facing them more than once. I'm guessing I am, but the draft actually was today. It went pretty well. I was actually think I was second to last in the draft thing. What I basically did is actually go down the line, or like went down the line first. I was second to last, and then it actually switched, so like the last people will like go first the next draft for like draft 2. So I actually got to go second for the second draft. The first draft actually was our mega. There was only not really any like restrictions on like the tiers or anything like that. You can pick any tier you want as many times as you wanted. You can pick as many from OU as you want, anything like that. But only 2 legends maxed, and no Ubers or anything like that. So in 1 mega. But I was really debating either Mega Scizor or Mega Charizard X. I think the guy actually after me actually wanted Mega Charizard X, and he was like, "Oh shit!" But um, I actually chose Mega Charizard X. Some people in the comments would be like, "Oh, Mega Scizor only has 1 weakness, Brad. Why didn't you pick Mega Scizor if it wasn't taken by this point?" Um, to be honest, I really did not want the Scizor at the time. I really did not feel like using Scizor through the league would be very entertaining. Scizor actually it's decent, I guess. I really wanted to use Mega Charizard X. I had never used it really in the beginning of 6th gen. I really wanted to try it out. I was like, pretty good time right here to try it out. I might as well try it out. Um, so I actually scooped up Mega Charizard X for this. The bad thing about it though is actually weak to rocks, so I have to get it in before and Mega Evolve it before Stealth Rocks goes up. I do have a Rapid Spinner I did draft too, so and I do have 2 things that actually I can have one that learns Defog and one that can learn Rapid Spin. So I'll show you guys those guys coming up here. Uh, the very versatile. It has a decent defense stat and decent speed. If you set up Dragon Dance, you can outspeed most things. Start getting a sweep going. You can run a bulky set, offensive set, a lot of stuff like that. Gets decently good coverage as a Mega. That's basically why I drafted Charizard X. The next Mega I actually drafted, I'll show you guys right now. The next Mega I actually did draft. It's not really a coincidence. I really did not draft this because it's my mascot. I drafted it because it's so versatile. Mew is one of the most, I don't know how to really say it, versatile or things in the game. Unlike most Pokemon, you can run it more than you can't like most Pokemon. You can just run it mostly as an offensive set or something like that. Say it's Infernape, you can run it as an offensive set. You can't really run it too much else. Mew, you can either run it bulky, a support set, a special defensive set, a defensive set. You can run it as a special attack sweeper, attack sweeper. Anything you want, you can make it bulky or anything like that. It learns any move in the game. That's basically why I actually drafted it as my second pick. I went second on the second pick. Um, really, you can do anything with this thing. Base 100s across the board, not too bad right there. You can make it any way you want. That's really why I drafted this thing. My team really wanted something like this. That's really why I drafted it. It's not really because of my mascot. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, it's because you're Brad Mew, your mascot," but it's not really because of my mascot. It's really probably because it's so versatile. You can run it any way you want. I really would like something like that in this league. I can run it any way you want. So that's really why I drafted Mew. Pretty self-explanatory why I drafted it. It was still around because I got picked second on the second draft. The next draft, I'll tell you guys right now. For my third draft, basically it snaked down through everybody else, and now it turned back, so I go second to last again. I really surprised this thing actually stayed around as long as it did. I was really hoping nobody would pick this thing up. I actually picked up Chansey. The special defensive monster. It has like base, like I don't know, like way high base HP. I don't know what off the top of my head. I do apologize for that, but sky high base HP, sky high base special defense, and has really bad attacks, though, which doesn't really matter. But you can either run it as a mostly of a staller, mostly a team support. It gets access to soft boiled, wish, thunder wave, toxic. seismic toss. You can get, and it actually gets stealth rocks too. So very, very good special defensive wall. At this point, I was really thinking I needed a special defensive wall. Hopefully, Chansey was still there when I got to me, and it was. So I scooped it up right away. Run that EVO light. Stats to go through the roof. Basically, a special defensive wall for the team. I was planning actually having either that or team support. That's what I'm probably going to use this thing for. Not quite sure what sets I'll be running on it yet, which I really don't know any sets of the stuff I'll be running on it yet, but on anything yet. But that's basically why I drafted this thing. I was really surprised it was around. I'm happy I got this thing on the team. So for the fourth draft, I'll tell you guys. For the fourth draft, I actually got to pick second on the fourth draft because it snaked all the way down again and actually back to me. So I was actually second again. At this point, I was really needing a defensive wall and a rapid spinner because I do have the Charizard on my team, which is 50% weak to rocks, and the Chansey, which does take a little bit from rocks. I really needed a rapid spinner at this point. I really wanted something that could step stealth rocks, spikes, and other hazards for anything. So for Etris actually still left. I was like, scoop it up, scoop the thing up. So for my fourth draft, it was actually for Etris. Very, very defensive. I think it's base 140 defense, and I think it is. Decent HP. It can't really be run defensive. It's 4 times weak to fire. I think that's the only weakness too. It gets access to Volt Switch too, so it has either pretty good move pool too. It actually is pretty good countering fairies too, which is one of my fairy counters on this team. Can set up a lot of hazard. I really needed to set up some stealth rocks too, and it does get access to rapid spin, which I really wanted it for. It's defensive. I need a defensive wall at the time. Something with rapid spin too, so I scooped up. That's really the reason I just scooped it up. It's for rapid spinning and setting up hazards like that too. But I really have to get something that actually it's 4 times weak to fire, so I need to get something that can resist fire too. So for my fifth draft, it snaked all the way down, and I'm second to last on this next one again. So for my fifth draft, it's going to be. So basically, it snaked down all the way. I was second to last again. I was at this point. I really needed a ground resist because Charizard X is weak to ground. I really have nothing on the team that really wants to take a ground type move. I really needed a special attacker, special sweeper too. The best thing I really had was actually Rotom Heat. Maybe not the best choice. Maybe I should have went with Rotom Wash or Rotom Mo. At the time. I really did not want Rotom Mo though, because it actually was weak to fire. For Retros was already 4 times weak to fire too. I need another fire resist too for Etris. So I actually scooped up Rotom Heat. It is weak to Stealth Rocks, which is kind of bad about at the time. But as long as we can get those rocks out of the way and keep them out of the way, we can keep the good special sweep around. You can run Choice Scarf, Choice Specs. Gives a pretty decent move pool too. Gets access to Volt Switch, so it does have Switch Initiative. Very good stab fire type attack too. It does get Levitate too, which I really needed at the time, so we do have 1 ground immunity so far. Pretty good special attack too. Can run it a lot of ways. You can run it bulky too if you wanted to. Not really quite sure how I'm going to run it yet, but anyways, draft number 5 is actually Rotom Heat. Not really too much behind this one, just drafted it because I really needed something that resists fire at the time and needed a ground resist, so, and especially a sweeper at the time too. So number 5 is Rotom Heat. Draft number 6 is going to be this. For my number 6 draft, it actually, I think it went down and it snaked back up to me. I was, I think, number 2 on this one. I'm not quite sure. I think it was number 2 again. I actually wanted to get some lower tier Pokemon too. I didn't want to be the guy that actually took like shit from UU and OU, get all that shit. I'm gonna sit here and win this league with top tier Pokemon. I know I did not want to be that guy. I wanted to use some stuff that were lower tier too. I needed something that can really counter fairies decently, like Sylveon and stuff like that at the time. So, and I needed another ground resist. I really wanted to get 2 ground resist on the team. So, I scooped up Weezing. I really needed another defensive wall too. Very defensive, very good HP, very good defense, decent special attack. I think it's like 95 special attack or something like that. Has Levitate, very good for that. Very decent move pool. It does have access to Flamethrower, Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave, Will-O-Wisp, Pain Split, stuff like that. It does get access to Toxic Spikes too. That's basically the reason I drafted it. Pretty good versatility, very defensive, another ground resist too. So that's basically the reason I actually got this. I scooped up. It was still around actually. I was very surprised. Um, Very good pick in my opinion. It's going to come in very clutch during this season. Um, Now on to number 7. It actually snaked down all the way, so I was second to last again in this next one. So number 7 is going to be. At this point, I was really looking for a attacking sweeper, a physical sweeper for the team that actually could be very good and outspeed most things that are base 100. Outspeed most things with the choice scarf. Um, I was really surprised that Garchomp stayed around as long as it did. I actually end up scooping up Garchomp for my physical attacker. I really need one of those at the time. Most stuff on the team, I did have the Charizard X, which is mostly physical. I could run a special if I wanted to, but I'm not really going to do that unless I really need to anyways. But I did not have many physical attackers on the team, so I really need to pick up a special or physical attacker at this point. I scooped up the Garchomp. It is 4 times weak to ice, really kind of bad there. But then again, we do have a lot of ice weaknesses or resistances on the team, so I wasn't really too mad about that. And we do have fairy resistance and stuff like that too, and dragon resistance. Um, Very good move pool, very good attack, very good speed. I think it's like base 1 something speed, 102 or something like that. Very good choice bandit. Too bad does not get Dragon Dance, otherwise actually that would probably be OP, but um, very good pool in my opinion. I'm surprised I actually picked this up at the time I did. It was down to it was around still to like seventh draft, so very surprised I picked this up. This is going to be pretty clutch in this next season here. Gets a very good move pool. Also can run it as bulky. Does get access to stealth rocks too, so um, probably going to be running a lot of different sets with this thing coming up in the next couple battles. Uh, at this point, it's going to come around, snake back up to me again, so I'll be second for this next pick. My 8th draft for the OBA is going to be. At this point, I really wanted something that was going to be a support to the team. I was very surprised this thing stayed around as long as it did. My 8th pick, I actually scooped up Klefki. It does have the prankster ability, so anything that is like status move gets +1 priority and goes first. Gets access to both screens, gets access to Thunderwave, Toxic, a lot of stuff, even except sub too. You can run it a lot of different ways. You can run it mostly bulky with leftovers, or you can run it with screens. A lot of different ways you can run this thing. That's why I really wanted to pick it up as a team support. Mostly this for screens because the team would look very good under screens. So that's why I wanted to pick this thing up. That and a lot of versatility with Klefki. Other than that, there's not really much reason why I wanted to pick this thing up. Just needed team support at the time. That's why I really was thinking. So I scooped up Klefki. Now it's going to actually go all the way down, and I'm going to be second to last again. Really surprised this thing stayed around for as long as it did. My draft for the OBA section, or number 9, is going to be. My number 10 draft, it actually went around and actually snaked up to me again, so I was actually number 2 on the number 10 draft. I actually needed a really good physical attacker. This thing actually has base 95 speed, very good late game sweeper. I do not have anything that set up sticky web on this team, but it is very good under sticky web. I actually drafted Zangoose, very good attack stat. Toxic Orb, or Toxic Boost, complete Rex late game. It's not very good against Stealth Rocks, though I need to get rid of the rocks before this thing can do any work. It gets a pretty decent move pool. Ice Punch, Knockoff. Just knocked that thing off my dresser, but Ice Punch, Knockoff, gets close combat. Facade, which is always going to be the move you're going to be choosing, I guess, but gets actually, I think it gets Ice, or gets Last Resort too, Quick Attack, Last Resort, anybody. Detect, Protect, like that stuff. So it's more of a late game sweeper. That's what I had in mind for this thing. Cannot take a hit and worth shit. If it takes like 1 hit, it's basically dead and basically useless. So I need to keep this thing around for the more late game stuff. Either that, or if I need something to sack off, this is probably the thing to be sacking off. But very good move pool, very good stuff like that. That's actually going to wrap up the draft, guys. I actually did write everybody else's stuff they drafted too. A lot of OP stuff from other teams too. A lot of people actually, Mega Charizard Y got drafted, Mega Sharpedo got drafted, Mega Pinsir got drafted, Mega Latios, Mega Venusaur, Complete Monster got drafted, Mega Aggron, Mega Gallade. A lot of different stuff got drafted. Arcanine, I was looking at some stuff, Slurpuff, Scizor, a lot of Togekiss, Ditto got drafted. A lot of different stuff's going to be drafted, so if you guys want to check out the other coaches, that'll be on the OBA, Mega Battle Association official page. The battle should be starting up either later this week or next week sometime. I don't know who my first opponent is. The whole thing should be set up like a day or two, so that's up to the guy that created it. I'm not quite sure though. But that being said though, if you guys didn't make it so far, I honestly appreciate it. I can't talk today. Please drop a like below, and if you're new, subscribe. I'm your coach of the Grassy Plains Raikous. Hopefully you guys stick with me through the season. Hopefully we make it to playoffs and stuff like that. So hoping, really hyped for this get going. Really hyped for this. So that being said, I'm right out of here. See you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed.